B-listers that aren't really celebrities that are trying to get down out of there.
Trying to get down out of New York?
Out of New York in general, yeah. And of course,
Yeah,
everyone's
why do
like,
you wanna
should we do the Texas thing and follow the Joe Rogan nonsense? Or
Just follow Joe Rogan.
yeah. But a lot of people are talking about going to Miami.
I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, right? Here on our podcast. Just also following Joe Rogan.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's true.
Oh, man. The pregame with Hondro plus Dopio. Man, we are so excited. Let me figure out how to switch the camera over. What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new podcast. We're super excited. Been working on this for a little bit. The pregame featuring myself, DJ Hondro from GNV Entertainment, and one of my very best friends, business associates, a bunch of other things.
Hey, Dopio here. What's up, man? Or guy or girl, whoever is listening.
Whatever
Dog,
pronoun you prefer. We're all tolerant of everything here. Yeah, guys. So welcome to the pregame, episode uno of our podcast. I kind of want to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do here. We know a lot of people starting podcasts, but I think this one's a little special. So we get people, I mean, every single day that we're out and doing our events and everything, telling us, where can we check in with you guys? Where can we see what's going on throughout the week? And then that's one part of it, at least, and then the other part of it is, of course, all these new DJs that are coming to be, kind of getting into the scene, giving them a way to get a glimpse into our minds, for better or for worse, whatever that may be, right?
Yeah, every night people are always asking about that stuff.
Yeah. Get a glimpse into our minds if that's a good or a bad thing, and just kind of see.
It's like, how do you start DJing? How can I be a DJ? Can I scratch? Can I touch the board?
Can I touch the board? Can I touch the buttons?
Can I do the thing? It's on my Sun night.
So just a little bit of all that, having some fun. We got to work in a little bit. So the idea is, we're going to just chill out before we got to go actually hit the clubs and get to work and get people dancing and all that, and talk everything relevant, whether we're just bullshitting, having a good old time, downloading some tracks, keeping you guys up to music news, or maybe some other
let's stop
fun
being heathens and use coasters.
Yeah, right. Especially on my nice table here in my nice new studio, and I'm not even enforcing that. That's bad. That's bad. So just to even back it up a little bit, guys, in case you don't know, like I said, I'm DJ Hondro from GNV Entertainment. GNV Entertainment is a company that I own here in Gainesville, Florida. We do all kinds of things, trivia, karaoke, but most notably, and I think most interestingly, kind of what has my heart and my passion is working with other DJs and giving them a platform to grow their craft, just like my friend over here, DJ Dopio, right? So kind of the idea here is we just wanted to get together, shoot some DJ topics back and forth, and have a good old time, right? So
yeah, share the inners and outer workings of what we do and some slight behind the scenes stuff.
Behind the scenes is always fun. So we thought a good first topic, and like DJ Dopio said, one of the things we get asked all the time is, how did we become DJs, right? How did this crazy life come to be? Did we find it, or did it find us?
Yep, that's people ask it all the time. Where they ask like, "Oh, how did you start DJing here at this club? Can I start DJing?
Can I also start DJing?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So so we thought that'd be cool. Episode 1 topic today is Thursday, January 28th. So we're gonna be DJing here in a little bit for our Throwback Thursday event, but try to lock up that before we get. So I'll have DJ Dopio start it off. I know you guys, you know him, you love him, seen him. Probably a Wednesday night, ladies' night, Friday, social, White Buffalo, all over town. But how did he become a DJ? So
pop around all over the place, like advent calendar DJs. You know how it is. Every night might be a new place. So the way I started out was the name DJ Dopio. If you do not know, I typically am in the DJ booth starting the night off with a coffee in my hand because I am a fiend. I used to work at Starbucks. So right out of high school, I started working there. Worked there for a couple years. Had a little inside joke with a bunch of my friends that if ever I was going to be a rapper, because, I mean, look at me. It almost looks naturally that was going to be my habit.
You got a little Machine Gun Kelly thing going for you?
People used to tell me I look like him all the time.
MGK.
I used to, like, buzz my hair back in the day, and it was like, I don't know, tall, lanky white kid. Kind of looks the same, minus the tattoos. But so I used to always joke around and say that my name would be Lil Dopio, because at the Starbucks establishment, a Dopio espresso is just 2 shots of espresso, and that's typically what I would drink right off the bat. So I was just always sipping them Dopios, and joke was I would be Lil Dopio in my future rap career, but Didn't become a rapper.
Sipping on that scissor.
Slowly became a DJ over time, and then once the time came that I needed to have a DJ name, it was just naturally right off the bat. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, Dopio. Alex over here was like, what the fuck is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah, I literally remember.
Like, Dopio? What is that? And I was like, nope. D-O-P-I-O.
Like Doppler
Dopio.
radar or something, because I wasn't, too into the Starbucks thing. I'm more of a Dunkin' guy myself, actually. Anyone who knows me knows that for sure. But yeah, I was like, what in the hell is Dopio, and what does that mean, and everything? And it was kind of funny, actually, because before that, it wasn't DJ Dopio initially. Actually, we were trying a couple different things. Like, it was like DJ Jesse initially, right? Because everyone just does that. Like, I was DJ Alex initially, and then you change it up a little bit. But so it was DJ Jesse, and then because we do weddings and all that other stuff, and then so like you got into the nightclub scene, and one of the club owners that we work with downtown here suggested, oh, well, he should be DJ Messy Jesse. So we kind of dropped the Jesse part, and it was just DJ Messy J for a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like was, Jesse J, a little play on that. So.
Yeah, it was not great. So we were like,
it was a placeholder for sure.
That's going to be a placeholder. But we ended up arriving at Dopio, and that was, a year and a half ago maybe, and it's been then. So,
but just to backpedal a little bit to wait, we didn't even really discuss on how I got into DJing itself. I've just always, as people, I love music.
The name is what people care about.
I love music, and I've never met someone who says that they don't like music. But I've just always been naturally great at it. I've just grew up with, like, my mom used to listen to a lot of like alternative rock, so like 90s, 2000s rock. It's like her go-to. My dad listened to all kinds of old nonsense, not nonsense, but like older, like Pink Floyd, Skinner, just like 70s, 80s, like hippie or like rock stuff. My brother, I have an older brother. He brought me into a lot of like rap music. So just I had a crazy amalgamation of all different kinds of just sounds. So I grew up with a pretty eclectic music taste. I would just listen to a bunch of stuff. And once I was working for Starbucks, they did a charity event, and we ended up having to get a DJ for it because we didn't have to, but that was just an idea to have fun and make it a good time. So we looked up karaoke DJs down in South Florida. The first one that popped up was a guy named Rodrigo. Shouts out to Rodrigo, my OG boss. He worked for a company called Sound Fun Karaoke at the time. Hit him up. He said it's a charity event. He's more than happy to come out and do it. He can do tax write-offs, and it's also just good because he likes doing charitable things. So he comes out and does it. It's a awkward time because, as you can imagine, in a Starbucks, karaoke's going on, people walking in not knowing there's a charity event, and you just hear,
I just want my coffee,
Caroline, and they're like, oh,
just give me my coffee, please.
Can I get a bacon Gouda or what? And so it was probably could have been planned out a little bit better, but it was a weird-ish start to the day, so I was just trying to make sure it wasn't a flop. So I just popped up there on the microphone and was singing a couple songs, trying to keep the flow, the vibes going. And the next day, he ended up reaching out, and he was like, "Hey, man, yesterday was a little weird, but I really appreciated like your microphone voice and your presence. You have a personality that I can kind of like click with, and I think would be a good fit for what I do." And he was like, "Are you looking for another job?" And at the time, I was, which was convenient.
The natural hustler that you are.
Yeah, so
always looking for ways to make money.
I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I don't know like necessarily what I could do because, like I said, I have other than knowing a lot of songs, I had no like musical experience of any form. I played recorder in kindergarten or whatever the hell. I can play like Peter Pumpkin Eater on the Glockenspiel. But other than that, I had no real musical avenue at that point. So I shouted him a couple times. We went out and did a couple of gigs. I just basically watched him at first. Then he was like, all right, well, you've watched me doing this long enough. We get to a party. He's like, all right, set everything up. And so I'm like, oh, on the spot. So I started hooking all the cords in, started plugging everything in, started getting it going. And I was like, wow, I just did the whole thing myself. This really wasn't that bad. And then I ended up moving up here to Gainesville, flash forward a couple years. And that's when I ended up meeting Alex over here. Obviously, had to switch companies. I couldn't work for Rodrigo anymore. We parted ways, said goodbye, whatever. Thank you. It was great opportunity to kind of learn all this stuff. And up here in Gainesville, there's a lot more of a college scene. So I really started to actually get plugged into more of the clubs vibes instead of just doing karaoke nights and trivia or just whatever private events.
Hey, your nipple is showing.
I just wanted. Hell yeah!
I just wanted to let
you know. Welcome to the Dopio show.
Oh
here.
No! All right, I'm gonna have to put a NSFW tag on this now.
Just put the Dopio logo over it.
I'll do
the censor. But sorry, I'm getting distracted by my own nipple over here. But so that's how I ended up moving up here. I found Alex through just looking up, same kind of thing. I looked up like, DJs in Gainesville, just looked through a couple people, called around, ended up getting a hold of Alex, and started working up here. And he really plugged me into a lot of the more club scenes where physical DJing, the actual turntablism, if you will, got more prevalent, and really got those hours of experience in, and honed the skill, and just started doing it up here. And then, like you said, we just told the story earlier, I got the name Doppio, and it's been flying by ever since then. So just popping into all the clubs, DJing all around, and it's been a blast. It's been a good time.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride. I remember when you first kind of started working for G&B Entertainment, and really your main club that we started you off at was the Social, because you were so well versed with those throwbacks, with the weddings you had done and events and those sort of things. So it really worked with the kind of vibe we were working at Social. But I remember definitely the skill set was not there yet, if we can agree.
Not when the physical DJing aspect of it.
Definitely not.
I could look at the crowd and read it and be like, all right, this song, then this song, then this song. But the actual articulation of a night, like a set, that wasn't there. Yeah.
Sure. And I remember just, it seemed like probably the first 2 months you were in, we were just working together and getting those technical skills up. But I do got to say, Mr. Doppio over here, Jesse Chappell, as his friends and family know him, not as people in the club, is probably one of the quickest advancing DJs I've seen. And I know he definitely holds his own with DJs who have been working in the clubs for 10 times as long as he has. So I think that really shows something, man. When you want something.
It's just sometimes you got to show nipple, and then that really just gets you.
Yeah, well, that helps out too. Good nips
you can't be shy.
Is always helpful.
Maybe I'll start an OnlyFans here soon.
Oh, geez, I don't know about that. Let us know in the comments if you guys would subscribe to DJ Doppio's OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. Don't leave that behind for sure. Well, it's a good story. I always personally, I work with a lot of DJs, and one of the questions I always like to ask people. I'm going to move my mic over a little bit. There we go, so you can hear me. So one of the questions I always like to make sure I ask people is kind of, why do you do what you do, and what got you into this initially? And what I find interesting is it's a common theme that I find, like Mr. DJ Doppio said, that they just kind of fall into this thing, right? And you loved music, like you said, you loved...
very rarely do you hear a 7-year-old saying, I want to be a DJ.
Right. Well, nowadays,
well,
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit now, but not really. When we were kids, it wasn't that.
Yeah,
I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to paint.
You're an artist of sound and space now, right?
Yeah,
so,
I just read that post earlier that music is just air that wiggles.
Something like that. I heard someone say one time that music is how we decorate time, and art is how we decorate space. So it's interesting to think about that. Is that so? In a certain way, we are artists, right? But I guess trying to backtrack a little bit because we got distracted. So how I got started DJing is kind of something similar, and really what led me into that. I just kind of fell into it. So I've been doing music like my entire life. I'm 25 years old now. I will be 26 in a week too, as well. So happy early birthday to me. Find me in the club.
Ew.
Probably requesting birthday chick or something from DJ Doppio. Can you play it? It's my birthday. Can you play a birthday song, please?
Can you play birthday sax on Jeremiah?
Oh my gosh. You got to play it at midnight and shout me out, please. But I just kind of, fell into it. I got my first guitar when I was like 6 years old. And I love telling this story because I think it's really funny. But the guitar I got, it only had like 3 strings on it. And even though it only had half of what the strings or half of the strings that I needed to play, I absolutely fell in love with it, and just fell in love with like sitting in my room after school with CDs and trying to learn how to copy what they were playing and just listening to it and try to transcribe it into playing guitar. And so never was formally trained, really never gotten into lessons or anything like that, but just absolutely fell headfirst into it. And I was that kid, like I would come home and just for hours and hours and hours play my guitar, produce music on my computer, do whatever it is. So I never really saw DJing as a long-term career, or like as an option, or even saw it as a business opportunity until way later on. And when I was first getting started, like I was DJing for free all over the place, literally just like finding people's parties that I could set up at and just be able to spin and all that. So between that and I was in like a band in high school and everything. So I definitely got a lot of exposure in the music scene, working around and learning how to move a crowd, both with live music and DJing skills. So love the band thing. That's kind of where my heart is. But when moved into college here at the University of Florida, go Gators, Gainesville City Entertainment here. That's where we're here. So, go Gators. I moved up here to University of Florida. Like, it's really hard to have band practice in a dorm room, obviously. So, wanted to find a way to continue my performance and continue my love of being able to move people and all that into this new world that I was into, this college world. So this was, again, at the rise of EDM and when it was really starting to get popular. 2013, I graduated from high school. So that was my first year of college as well. And this was the really early beginning of the festival scene when, you know, Ultra was getting really big, EDC was getting really big, and this whole culture and music was just blowing up. So all these things come together, and I really just fell in love with DJing. I started DJing at a lot of the clubs, a lot of my frat parties, was in a fraternity in college, and just kind of started to get more and more exposure that way. And the way Gainesville works is very unique, that it's obviously built around the school. So the more kind of exposure you have in the school and the more you're able to get involved with the student body, the more that you get business and kind of contacts outside of the school itself, right? So through my fraternity connections, and like we would do parties at these different clubs and I would DJ them, and then the owners would come up and say, hey man, like that was pretty good. You have availability on a Friday, Saturday night maybe. So one thing just kind of leads to another, and I started being able and was blessed with the opportunities of working at some of these bigger clubs in Gainesville. And just it got to the point where I was almost too busy to be able to keep it up myself, right? Because I started running into a couple different problems that the club owners were having issues, because as you get more and more popular, you know, you have different clubs pop up and want to play, and all these different places want a certain style of music and they want you to play, but you know, you're only one person, right? So you can only be one place on one night. So how do you continue to hold on to all these relationships, and how do you continue to be able to share your love and be able to keep doing what you're doing without limiting yourself at only one place? So that's kind of the basic idea of how GMV Entertainment came to be, and like how I met DJ Doppio and started working with him and some of the other DJs we work with. Really came out of my love of just being a DJ myself, and then being able to kind of work with these new clubs and give some opportunities for these guys. So that's really what I do now. Honestly, I feel like I'm the least talented DJ in my own company sometimes, which I think is pretty funny. But it's a absolute honor and pleasure to be able to work with you guys and just be able to advance and help however you. So that's kind of how I got started, both into being a DJ, and then I guess now it's a GMV Entertainment, which almost 10 years now. I guess it's been a wild ride, because I think my first prom when I was like 16 or 17, you know, something like that. And then here we are almost 10 years later.
What a funny change in what songs you probably played that night versus what we play now.
You know what's funny though is I think about this pretty frequently. Is a lot of the songs
we still play probably.
We still play a lot of the same music. Yeah, it's not a lot, I would say, because a lot of things change and new music comes out.
Yeah, but
I mean the club hits are always going to be a club hit, and there's a reason these popular music.
I play Hadaway What Is Love every night, consistently.
I don't know about every night, but it's up there.
Just kidding.
It's up there. What is love?
I rarely play it, but
baby, don't hurt.
There's a time and a place, as we said earlier. Just knowing how to read the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
See a bunch of 40-year-old white women out there. All right,
for sure.
I'll throw it out.
So I have kind of a question for you, actually. So and I was thinking about a couple different things that you were thinking of when you were talking here. It was sparking things in my mind.
Yeah.
At what point did you kind of see this change from just a job to you to maybe something that, I mean, because you're doing this like 25, 30 hours a week now, right? So
yeah. More than I am not.
More than you are not, for sure. So at what point, you know, because you just fell into it initially and started working the karaoke thing, and then obviously it's changed a lot. But at what point you think did you see this change from just a job that you were looking for, that you weren't even really looking for, right, fell in your lap, to something that you are doing now 25, 30 hours a week?
Well, I guess that's a multifaceted question. So it started off, like you said, like as a job, because I was looking for something else in addition to just working at Starbucks and doing school. And I knew that Starbucks and school took up like the majority of morning to the early afternoon time. So right off the bat, I was like, I needed something nightlife oriented. So my first thought was just bartending, because down in South Florida, there's just a bunch of clubs and bars and stuff down there. And I figured it'd be pretty easy. I thought I'd get into either bar backing or bartending or something, get into that. And then that would just be like a nightlife thing. And then out of nowhere, it's funny how you said the universe works. Very soon after that happened, this DJing opportunity arose, and I was like, okay, this may be my little golden ticket. Fell out of the sky, and so I started doing that, and then that fixed that nighttime need for just more money. And as I started doing it a little bit more, Down when I was down there, it wasn't anywhere near as the amount of volume we do up here, but that was a couple nights out of the week, and it was just noticeably more fun and more enjoyable. Granted, I loved working at Starbucks, but it's just not the same. It's not the same stimulation, I guess, as like DJing, because I just, as
taking
we said
drink
earlier,
requests is way less fun than taking song requests.
well, yeah, exactly, but
I don't know about that actually sometimes.
Right? It was just fun. It was great. I enjoy watching people. I like making other people happy, and that's just one of my things that I like bring pleasure in keeping like a vibe going, and DJing. You are literally immediately in effect of how a night goes. So if there's a bunch of people out there, the music, they say the same thing about weddings. The two things that people remember about weddings are the food and the music. Those are like so it's like without like good music or a good orchestration of like the dance floor. Sure. It's like so evident. So just being like watching and seeing how you yourself controlled the night is just this is a stroke to your ego for sure, because you're like, I did that. But it's just nice. It's just great to be around a bunch of people that are having a good time, and you can in the back of your mind like that you are very heavily contributing to that. And so that's when it really started to become more than just a job. It's just noticing like, without me, this area, or at least this space and time that I just took up, wouldn't have been the same.
Wow. I think that's really powerful, actually, what you just said. And I really a couple things, I guess, that you said, and just about making people happy, right? And so many people have ways that they try to make everyone happy, right? Yeah. And whether it's like we were talking about artists earlier, like artists create a piece of art and it pleases people's eyes, or maybe it's, it perfectly accents their room or whatever it is. And that's something that's really, it makes them happy. And kind of our vehicle for making people happy is playing music and getting them
playing
to dance.
Birthday Bitch at midnight when it's
night. It sounds funny, but honestly though, man, it
can make someone's night. The DJ shouted me out. This happened. They played the song I really wanted to.
Sure.
There's all kinds of things.
Sure. And I think that's, it's so important for DJs to realize like that's kind of what they're doing, because a lot of DJs come into this and unfortunately with the DJing comes a little bit of an ego, like you said, and stuff too. But you got to realize at the end of the day that we are so blessed in order to be able to work a job where we're up there. I mean, having a great time, completely sober all the time, right? Never ever drinking or anything on the job. Like we're just so blessed to be able to be doing something that brings people so much joy and gets people dancing and gets people moving. And like even with the trivia and the karaoke and stuff we do, man, like last night, every Wednesday night, so we're recording this, like I said, on Thursday. Last night we were doing karaoke over at Social, and there was this one, I would say she was probably like 32 years old, right? The one lady that was wearing the striped shirt, and she was just like getting down.
Oh yeah.
She's probably like 32 years old. Yeah. But she was just hanging out there by herself, like wasn't with anyone.
Probably didn't even know karaoke was going on. I don't even know if she was there for that.
Just having a drink or whatever. But the moment she saw we were doing karaoke, I mean, the stars that she got in her eyes and just the emotion. And for the whole rest of the night, she was there dancing and having a great time. And she actually came up to me and Doppio at the end here and was like, this was literally like the best night ever. I wasn't going to stay because I had to work in the morning, and now I'm stayed the whole night because I was having so much fun. So I think it's really cool. Just like, that's one person.
Yeah. The moral of the story is we like to make sure that people are hungover and don't make it to work.
Exactly.
That's our goal. If you don't call in sick the next day to work, we didn't do a good job.
I think that's the moral of the story. Yeah, we were joking that we hope she's not like a kindergarten teacher or something. she has to go into work tomorrow.
Where's Miss Pitts?
But that's one person.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's just a very isolated incident, but that happens in a club when it's like a busy. That's who knows, hundreds of people.
Yeah,
and
one night.
Yeah, exactly.
Hundreds of people, and not only that, but it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving, because not only are you empowering and making people happy on the end of the crowd, but also the new DJs that are coming into the company and working are really looking up to you as a role model as well.
Yeah.
So, this is something I saw initially, and now I'm seeing it come again almost in like a second wave with yourself and also DJ Beanard, who we're absolutely going to have on the podcast one of these times. Absolutely love that guy. Shout out DJ Beanard. Bernard, love you, man. But these new wave of DJs really looking up to you guys as role models and everything. So not only are you empowering and making people happy from the crowd side, but also now people who also want to chase this craft. And again, I think, as part of one of the reasons we want to start this podcast is just put it all out there and talk about what it really is to be a DJ and what it really is to be in this life, both from a personal, from a business perspective, from a marketing perspective. I mean, from everything, right?
Yeah, Bernard and I joke about it all the time though. If we had like $1 for every time someone says, "Oh, teach me how to be a DJ" or whatever, like we would probably not have to DJ anymore because we have so many dollars at that point.
And then
but we're both like we're just what we said. We're happy and eager to give people that experience and that feel. But you can tell when somebody's like really into it. And some of these newer guys that we'll get on occasion that like are really like earnestly, like you can see they're like they want it. You watched it in their eyes, they're like, oh my gosh, that was let's say it was like some sort of weird transition that we just kind of came up with. They were like, that was ridiculous, that was so good, never would have thought of that. And just we all are learning from each other, even of each other. No matter how long we've been DJing for, like, there's always you can find out things and you can learn, and it's all insightful. We're all just building each other up. That's the cool thing about us working with this company, is that we're all a big family for sure. And it's everyone making sure that everybody eats, everyone's happy. I'm happy because I'm watching.
Just I'm being feeding happy, off man.
That's
what it's about. And I'm in the exact same spot, because really my mission with people, I call it, you call it making people happy, I call it empowering people, is kind of what I see it more as, but just giving them a vehicle to be kind of the best they can be, right? So if that's through DJing, if that's through coming to our events and having a great time, like it's the same thing with the trivia nights. How many times have we seen people who they don't want to play, and then question one comes and they know the first question, and then they're so into it.
Yeah, they're like, I hate trivia. I suck.
Yeah, or people on a date, and then now we just made their date night because they're here and they just had the best night ever and everything. So whatever it is that you do that empowers people. And actually, I did a podcast too with you remember the one with Drew that it was probably 4 months ago, and empowering was what we talked about too. Yeah. Because I think especially now in the world that we live in and stuff too, is like that message is lost a lot of the time, is that it's never about empowering people. It's about some kind of other ulterior motive. Yeah. In a lot of the marketing we're getting, and a lot of even the sort of Instagram influencer sort of things, there's those ulterior motives.
Selling fit tea.
Yeah, fit tea. Oh yeah. On that note, buy our shirts, guys. Hey. Both the G&V Entertainment reflective shirts, and I'm gonna zoom in on your camera because I think these are so awesome.
Yeah. That's the opposite of what we want.
Oh dear, just stand up. Yeah, just stand up next to the camera. That's fine. We're still figuring out the production side. The DTF Throwback Thursday shirts, like you said, every Thursday, Throwback Thursday.
It's best for shimmering.
We'll be out
whatever.
there, and those go. Well, you won't see this in time because this will probably be posted tomorrow. But
we got a giveaway going on tonight.
Yeah, we got a giveaway going on tonight, and then those will be every Thursday as well. So make sure you come on out.
Best nip slip tanks on the market.
I forgot about your nipple already. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
How could you?
So memorable. Such a memorable nipper, and the viewers will not forget as well.
That should be that should be the thumbnail.
Just the nip.
Yeah.
Episode, or what is the pregame episode 1?
Yeah.
DJ Doppio's nip. DJ Doppio's nip.
Hey man.
Hey man,
it happens.
What is that? That's 28 minutes, just about 28 minutes. Yeah. And this is the crazy thing about it. I feel like I could just keep talking.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
Much. There's so much on this, but that's why we're gonna do this every week. Keep bringing on other DJs, not even just people repping G&V, but also all these DJs around Gainesville. I love meeting new people, and maybe even we'll branch out in other people again. So we're going to be pre-gaming with us here before we actually get out to work every week. Yeah. Pre-gaming with I'm drinking cherry bubbly today.
Cucumber mint.
Tastes
like fucking pickles.
It tastes like pickles, he insists.
I got pickle water.
The fancy seltzers that I get here for my home studio taste like pickles apparently. But yeah, we're gonna be doing this every week, just talking about a different thing, telling y'all where we're gonna be. Maybe downloading music some weeks. Yeah, DJ Doppio, a little known fact about DJ Doppio is he's like a musical savant, guys. So maybe we'll have some fun with him some weeks and test him a little bit, see how much he actually knows about music and all that. Put him on the spot.
Put him in the hot chair. Challenge.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we?
No, I think that was a good good culmination for our first episode. Just us introductory. This is, if you don't know us already, if you're not already one of our groupies, so to say.
The episode's not even over and you're already reviewing it.
I'm just saying.
Like, oh yes, that was a good episode. Well, Tip top work.
I think it's that's a good amount for their first dissection of us.
A small glimpse into the minds of Hondro and Doppio. So you guys know, let's see. It's Thursday. I'm going to post this tomorrow for sure once I get it chopped up and edited a little bit. Make sure you follow our Instagram page. That's like our main marketing platform where we post all the event schedules and everything, including where not only myself and DJ Dobio will be, but also where the rest of the GMV Entertainment Squad will be every weekend, and also what's going on throughout Gainesville, right? Because I know you guys love to party, and we love to party with you, so let's do it together. Let's have a great time. Tomorrow night, make sure you check out, we'll be over at White Buffalo starting at 10 p.m., and we actually, neither of us will be there, but DJ Mike Butler, one of our newer guys, repping some house music, and of course DJ Beanard. That's their Friday night spot, so make sure you go check that out. And then on Saturday night, we got All You Can Drink starting at 9 p.m. over at Grog House, which is going to be incredible. We'll be a whole team of us out there. Haven't sure exactly who it's going to be yet, but probably be 2 or 3 of us out there throwing down, having a great time with you guys. So make sure you check it out. And stay tuned for next week. This is the pregame.
Oh, yeah. See you out there.
Make sure I'm waving actually in the camera.
Yeah, right.